Okay, let's get this list started with number one. So the first thing you need to do to be a successful collegiate athlete is to make the right choice. And so what I mean by making the right choice is you need to pick a school where they have a good program, a good coach, and your degree, and a good program that offers your degree. Because first off, most collegiate athletes aren't going to go pro. I think it's like 1% of collegiate athletes actually end up being pro in their sport. So you need to go to a school that's going to prepare you for your future. And if you just go to a school for the track team or whatever sport you're playing, and turns out the coach you thought was amazing actually is horrible, the program you thought that was sunshines and rainbows is actually dreadful, then if you ultimately decide you don't want to transfer, you need to be in a place where you want to get your degree from. And that's the other thing. You need to do your research when making your choice of school and program. Don't just go for a coach, like say in your event, if the head coach who has power over that coach isn't good, that's not a good program for you. And you really want to look for a program where it's not just one or two people who are succeeding that have the most talent, but everyone or most of the people on their roster have shown improvement and speak highly of either their coach or their event coach. Because one thing about college athletics, when you go on a visit, almost no one is going to badmouth a coach because their scholarship is tied to that coach. So you need to do your research to make sure you don't pick a bad program, because most likely the people who are taking on your tour and showing you the works and the ropes aren't going to just tell you, hey, don't come here, right? So do your research, make sure you have all the information you need to make the best decision possible. Make sure you guys stick around all the way to the end of the video, because tip number 5 is the most important in my opinion. But let's keep going. Hey, what is going on, y'all? Welcome back to MJPTV, where we put track and field first. I'm MJP, and we are here to talk about how to succeed as a collegiate athlete, specifically, more in the realm of track and field, but hopefully this video can help anyone looking to compete in college athletics or already is in college athletics. So let's keep going and move on to number 2 on my list. Okay, next at number 2, you need to do your homework and have a routine. So one of the biggest trip ups for freshmen and underclassmen in college is that they never create a real routine for themselves. They always do things, oh, I'll do this then, okay, I think I'll study, but you really need to hammer down when you're going to read your textbooks, when you're going to do your homework, when you're going to go to study hall. So that way, your day is planned out and you know what to expect. Make sure you download your class schedule. Make sure you have your assignments in your calendar so that way you can look at your week and say, hey, I've got this coming up, I've got this next week, so that way you can structure and plan out how your week is going to go. So nothing will really catch you by surprise. And there are so many tools that can help you with this. I think in Canvas, which a lot of universities use, you can download your course calendar and download all your assignments straight into your calendar. So it's a big help, but really creating a good schedule and routine for yourself is really going to set you up for success. And one thing I would definitely recommend is that you do not try and study super hard after practice via practice in the afternoon, because you are 1, going to be tired, 2, going to be hungry, and so if you go get something to eat then you try and go to study hall, it is very difficult to try and focus when you're extremely tired and try and put forth the amount of effort you need to do. And so personally, I would recommend finding another time instead of doing it after practice. Just save after practice for recovery, eating, and doing all the things you need to do to prep for the next day. Whoa, quick timeout. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video, share the video with someone you think would enjoy this content or my channel, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And make sure you also follow me on social media at MJPTV0. I'm active on Instagram and Twitter, so be sure to hit me up. And then for the question of the day, for those of you who have competed in college, what helped you succeed as a collegiate athlete? Make sure to leave your answers in the comments below. And also comment below any other questions you have for me. I always like to respond to you guys, but let's get back to the video. Okay, next, coming in at number 3, you need to have balance in your life. So whatever your sport is, I did track and field. You need to have it. Your sport cannot be your entire world. You can't just be like, oh, track, and then you just become so obsessed with it. Your life needs to have balance, whether that's picking up a hobby, hanging out with your teammates. You need to find that work kind of life balance. And, some days it might be more work, some days it might be more social life, but you need to establish that balance so that way your life won't be all out of order. Because if your sport is your everything and say things aren't going well, that normally has a bad effect on your mental health, So you need to find the proper balance for you. And everyone's balance is a little bit different. You know, some people might, have a hobby they pick up. Some people might go to church. It really just depends on you. But once you find that balance, it's really going to set you up for success when the hard times eventually do come, and hopefully that adversity you can overcome. Okay, the number 4 thing you need to do to succeed as a collegiate athlete is to break down and study your own film. So whether that's recording yourself at practice or looking at yourself in competition, you need to see and break down where you're strong at, where you're weak at, and fix those mistakes in practice, or strengthen those strengths in practice and see how much you can improve in that area. Because being able to break down your own film and analyze is a must needed skill, especially for football players. In really any sport, you need to be able to dissect, okay, my foot isn't in the proper position here, or I had the wrong shin angle and torso angle coming out of the blocks. My form broke down the last 50 meters of the 400, and really be able to see and diagnose those issues. And I know for some programs, they don't allow you to film during practice, so you might just have to work on your competition film and, just find a way and learn how to analyze your sport and yourself. Okay, last and certainly not least, this is the most important thing in my opinion you need to do to be able to succeed as a collegiate athlete, and it's learn how to train yourself. So say you pick the wrong program and you end up with a bad coach in a bad situation. You have to know how to train yourself so that way you can succeed. You have to take responsibility for your own success, where ending up blaming it on the coach or, they didn't train me the right way. You need to learn how to train yourself, and that takes discipline. You have to be able to take that on and take responsibility for yourself. So whether that's learning, hey, I need to learn how to periodize my own self, or I need to do these extra lifts, and maybe I need to do a little bit more outside of practice. And some coaches probably won't be open to that, because a lot of coaches see that as spitting in their face. But if they're not giving you what you need to succeed, you need to take matters into your own hands and learn the things that you need to progress. Because ultimately your success is dependent on you. It does not matter where you go, especially in a sport like track and field. You can succeed anywhere. Now, having a coach definitely does help, but even if you have a great coach, if you know more, you can bounce more off of them. Be like, hey, I was looking at my film and just looking at myself in the weight room. Can we try something, do this? And if the coach is open to that, some coaches might not be. You can really, create a good team together with your coach to help yourself improve. So really that is the most important thing. If you learn how to train yourself, you will save yourself from a lot of headache if you do go to a bad program. So those are my 5 tips to succeed as a collegiate athlete. Hopefully you guys can learn from these tips, because most of them were derived from mistakes I made during my time as a D1 sprinter. So hopefully you guys can take this knowledge so that way you won't make the same mistakes and you can get the most out of your college experience. And so for those of you who stay to the end, just to let me know in the comments, leave 3 water emojis for me to let me know you're a real one. I do appreciate all the support you guys showed me. But that's it for this video. Y'all take care. God bless.